Good morning. I'm here at the Cow Creek Trailhead, located inside Rocky Mountain National Park. And today, I'm going for Sheep Mountain. I've done this before, but instead of going up the easy way, I'm going to try the southeast gully. And Lisa Foster said that it's pretty nasty through there. It's going to be a dense bushwhack. Official start time, 6:45. So the plan is to hike it down the Cow Creek Trail for about 1 mile or so. And then I'm going to split off and start bushwhacking to the top of Sheep Mountain. And something tells me that that's going to be pretty nasty through there. I'm preparing for the worst. Lisa Foster talks about there being 2 different ways to hike to the top of Sheep Mountain. And the easy way is to take it up the North Boundary Trail, up to the saddle, and then just bounce it along the top until you hit the summit. The other way to do it, which sounds much harder, is to stay on the Cow Creek Trail right here, take it out for another mile or so, and then look for the southeast gully, and then fight your way up through there. And that looks so much worse. A lot more trees, and it's a lot steeper. And this is my plan. I want to take it up to this rocky outcropping. That is the ultimate goal. And then I may or may not take it out to the true summit. It's just this spot in the trees. It's really not that great. And then on the way back, I'm going to bounce it across the top, take it down the east slope, and then loop it back around the North Boundary Trail. Yeah, that's going to be the easy way. I couldn't do anything too crazy today because there is a chance of rain here pretty early. I can already see the clouds building to the west, so I can't spend a ton of time out here. I got to get it done and get back down. And we got a couple deer off the trail here. Hey guys, how's it going? Eating your breakfast? And that's going to be the southeast gully right there. And that looks a little nasty. I don't think I've hiked a mile yet, but this looks like a good place to split off and head on over to the gully. Right through there. And believe it or not, but according to the GPS, I have come out a mile. Wow. That's crazy. That sure didn't feel like a mile. Do not, I repeat, do not try this hike during tick season. You're going to end up with 100 of them on you. And this thing just started ramping up. Wow. I think I'm headed towards the gully, but it's kind of hard to tell. I'm flying blind through the trees here. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge to get up there, for sure. And I think that's going to be the gully right over there to my right. I think I'm coming up the left side of it. However, I'm going to ride this up as far as I can because this terrain really isn't that bad. I bet out of all the people who have read through Lisa Foster's book, I'm probably the 3rd or 4th person to actually try this route. And that's going to be the gully down there. And that's pretty far below me. So I hope I'm not making a mistake coming up this left side, because I don't want to get up here and then get cliffed out and not be able to get back down there. And I'm going to try and cut it over right through here and get down into the gully. Yeah, I'm thinking that this is going to be a huge drop off right through here. Huh, that's really not too bad. I think I can make that work. All right, and I'm in the gully. And this is about what I expected, but worse. I'm going to try and work it over here to the right side and take it on up through there. I think I cut over right down in here somewhere, which was smart, because if I would have stayed over there to the left, I would have run into some big old cliffs and I wouldn't have been able to get down here. Yeah, that would have been bad news up there. And this is crazy through here. I often use the term bushwhack pretty lightly, but this is a for real bushwhack. And thank God this next 50 yards or so doesn't look too bad. I'm afraid to look at the GPS. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep winging it. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I do not recommend it. I mean, if you're looking for a hike in Rocky Mountain National Park, I'm pretty sure you can come up with something better than this. I think I'm at the point of no return. It would be just as bad to go back as it would be to keep going up. I'm at just under 8,900. And it looks like I've got to get up to a little over 9,600 before this starts letting up. And that looks like it's in about 0.2 of a mile. So this is going to be straight up. I'm staying over here to the right. I'm just trying to get up this thing by any means necessary. And finally, I'm getting a break. This is the best terrain that I've seen since I split off the trail. I just hope it lasts. And I had to stop for a quick break. I was getting lightheaded. And that's looking back down at where I've come from. And as I was sitting here, I looked down at my pants and I saw a tick crawling up them. So that's nice. I've probably got 5 more on me somewhere. And I think that's going to be the top right up there. I just need to keep pushing on. Maybe another 400 vertical feet up. And there's another one. I feel like that's the same tick that I just flicked off me. But yeah, that's great. Another thing I have to worry about now. Freaking ticks. I'm starting to gas out, but I need to keep pushing. I feel like I'm getting pretty darn close to the top. I'm just under 9,600, and I can see the top right up there. And this was hard. I'm in bad shape right now. Just got to keep fighting. Keep fighting. And I'm taking it up to the rocky outcrop. Should be right up here to my left. All right, let's see what we got up here. That's not what I was hoping for. I think right over here is what I was looking for. Yeah, this looks awesome. This is awesome. However, I think I want to be right out there. All right, and I think this is what I was looking for. This is going to be epic. And it should be, because my legs feel like Gumby right now. Straight Gumbified. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And you can see the trees down there starting to change color. I think this is going to be my final destination right here. Yeah, this is looking good. This is awesome. This is awesome! And I believe Bridal Veil Falls is going to be tucked up right in there. You can see part of the trail coming out. And this thing that I'm on drops straight off in front of me. Straight down. I got up here at about 9:25. So what'd that take? About 3 hours or so? I forgot what time I started. And the good thing about this hike is that I'm not going back down the way that I came up. I'm going down the easy way. And that's looking over at Twin Sisters Peaks, Mount Meeker, and Long's Peak. Awesome views from up here. These are better than what I expected. And then right over here, we've got McGregor Mountain on the left, Dark Mountain on the right. And then looking back behind me here, I believe that's going to be Mount Dickinson on the right, Mummy Mountain on the left. And originally, I was going to take the day off and not do any hiking. I thought it was going to be really cloudy and rainy. But then I woke up and I saw that I had hit 5,000 subscribers. And I was like, oh, I got to go do a hike. And that's looking at the backside of the Needles. You can kind of see the saddle right there in between Dark Mountain and the Needles. And that's where my mom and I had come up. And then we bushwhacked it through the trees all the way to the top. And that was pretty tough. I'm proud of my mom for doing that. That was no easy hike. The longer I sit up here, the more the sky is clearing. Yeah, this isn't a bad day at all. This morning, I was just looking through the book to get the stats, and then I saw where there were 2 routes up to the top of Sheep Mountain. And I was like, what's the other one? Oh, the Southeast Gully. That looks pretty interesting. Maybe I'll try that. Never again. That's a one and done. Well, it's about 10 o'clock, and I've been sitting up here on the edge of Sheep Mountain for about 30 minutes or so. But it's time to go. It's time to head on back. And this is a beautiful spot, but I am running really low on water. I only brought like 20 ounces, so I need to start heading back. And then right out there, you can kind of see the rounded summit, which, like I was saying, is really not that exciting. It's just up in the trees. Well, I'm not out of the woods yet. It looks like I'm going to have to hike it up to the summit to then get on that east slope route to take it down. And the summit is about a quarter mile away with a little bit of uphill to do. So once I get up there, then the rest of it should be pretty easy. Yeah, getting back up to that summit shouldn't be too hard. I might have to do a little bit of zigzagging, but I'm almost halfway out there. The terrain shouldn't get any worse than this the rest of the way. I'm just ready to go downhill. Man. And I'm up here, summit of Sheep Mountain. And that took maybe 15 minutes from the rocky outcrop. And honestly, this is about as exciting as the other Sheep Mountain just down the road on Highway 34, also known as Round Mountain. Yeah, you just get to the top of that and there's nothing but trees up there. And from the summit up here, I'm just going to hike it directly to the east and take it down the slope. And this shouldn't be too bad at all. And compared to the terrain that I've been on most of the day, this is a walk in the park. And this is a little worse than I remember it being, but still it's not too bad. I'm looking at another mile or so back down to the trail. And I've got 2 previous videos where I hiked up this way, took it on over the top, and then down to Bridal Veil Falls. So if you want to see this ascent in more detail, I would suggest watching one of those videos. You want to cheat it to the right on the way down. Keep it a little more over here towards the south, because part way down it splits off into 2 different little ridges. And if you stay to the left, you're going to start going down the wrong ridge. Plus there's a lot more trees over there. So cheat it to the right and stay to the south. And 2 words of advice if you try that Southeast Gully route. I don't know why you would, but if you do, 2 things. Make sure that you have your will filled out before you leave, and tell your family and friends that you love them before you start. And number 2, if you do happen to make it out of there alive, wear your worst hiking clothes. Stuff that you don't care if it gets rips and tears in it. Because if you go out there wearing your Sunday's best, you're probably going to come back with holes in them. Like I was saying on the way up, I often throw around the term bushwhack. I pretty much call anything that's off-trail hiking a bushwhack. However, there are varying degrees of bushwhacks. There's stuff like this, which is really easy. And then there's stuff like the Southeast Gully, which is very severe, and you got to take it seriously. Yeah, that may have been the single hardest incline that I've done all year. I think that was harder than the Mount Dickinson bushwhack, that's for sure. And this terrain is really starting to mellow out the lower that I go, which is great because I'm starting to pick up speed. I'm getting through it a lot quicker. And I just glanced at the GPS and I'm roughly halfway down this part. I've got probably another 7/10 of a mile back down to the trail. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Going up is much easier than coming down. Because when you're going up, you just keep going up until you run out of up, and it leads you to the top in most cases. However, you can go down 100 different ways and end up in 100 different spots down low. 99 of them you probably don't want to end up at. And even though I was telling you guys you want to cheat to the right and stay to the south as much as possible, I was trying to do that and I still got sucked over onto that northern ridge. Yeah, I was going down in the wrong spot and it started getting nasty over there. Tons of down trees. I was like, something is not right. So I looked at the GPS and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not in the right position. So I'm cutting it straight to the south right now, trying to get back over here onto this southern ridge. And already the terrain is looking good again. Whew. Man, if I would have kept going down that way, that would have been bad news. I was born in Missouri, raised in Kansas. And between being a Jayhawk or a bushwhacker, I always wanted to be a Jayhawk. I thought being a bushwhacker sounded like someone who had a personal problem. Oh, right, and there's the North Boundary Trail. It is just now 11:30, so that took me about an hour and a half to get from the rocky outcrop down here to the trail. And that was probably 1.7 miles of straight whacking. And the rest of this is going to be really easy. And I'm getting pretty close to being done with this thing. I can see the Cow Creek Road down there. It's not too far. And this actually turned into a beautiful day. Wow, I was not expecting this. I thought I may have been getting rained on right now. Taking it back through the McGraw Ranch, which means I'm done with the hike. It is just now 11:50, so that took an hour and 50 minutes to come down. And according to Lisa Foster's book, that Southeast Gully route is 2.1 miles, and the east slope coming down was 2.2, for a total of 4.3. And I'm going to tell you what, that's the hardest 4.3 mile hike ever. And that elevation gain is right around 2,000 vertical feet. I'm so glad to be sitting down right now. This feels amazing. But I hope you enjoyed that hike, and until the next one, y'all, peace.